Let's talk today about how to deal with sweaty lobbies. Look, Rebirth is sweatier than ever, so today I'm going to be giving you a few things that you can do to still drop high kills in sweaty lobbies. Now, look, I'm not saying you're going to PR in a sweaty lobby. That's very difficult to do, but we can still start to become more consistent and start to drop some higher kill games even though we're in sweaty lobbies. Now, the format for today's video is going to be our hybrid breakdown again. I'm going to be giving you a few different tips while also breaking down this gameplay, which is a 1.28 average KD lobby where I dropped 19 kills. 35 players were around that average mark. Just a reminder, average Rebirth KD is around a 0.97. So there were 35 players that were at or above that point, and there were 10 players with over a 1.5 KD. Now, first things first is win loadout or win early game at all costs and get your loadout down. Work together as a team, stack as much as you want, communicate, get to know, of course, land in the same spot every game so that you know that area and get to know that area so that you can win your early game and then start to push people. Now, when we talk about sweaty lobbies, one of the biggest things that I want to address today is how to regain. I think a lot of you struggle with the regain process, even outside of sweaty lobbies, but I think a lot of you really struggle to regain in those sweaty lobbies, which is what causes you to get in that blender over and over and over again. And being able to regain and knowing our options on how to regain will allow us to get out of that blender, get our feet back under us, get some momentum, and start to push people again. Now, in terms of sweaty lobbies, kind of just a few things that I want you to be aware of. Definitely third party a lot. I'm going to be third partying this first fight right here, and use your mini map. The most important thing, especially in sweaty lobbies, is using your mini map to your advantage. Understanding not only where that person's teammates are, but where are they rotating to, because sometimes they're stacked, sometimes they're way far away, and that's important information to know in terms of repositioning, which again, you see right here, I catch one up above. We're going to go ahead and hit shots. We're actually going to leave the last one. Now, in terms of farming teams, I'm going to keep this very simple as I always do. If you feel like a team is better than you, go ahead and get them out. Wipe them, especially in sweaty lobbies, wipe those teams. It's something that I do even as a 4KD player. If somebody's sweaty and I notice that, I'm going to go ahead and get that team out. But if I feel like I'm better than that team and I can kill them over and over again, I'm going to leave them. Now, I'm going to die right here. It's part of being in a sweaty lobby. A little bit of COD timing, a little bit of an unfortunate situation. I get caught looking over at TCap to see what he's doing and see if he needs help. I end up going down to this guy right behind me. That's okay. Let's talk about this regain process right here. We have a few different options. Now, first things first, loadout drops 15 seconds before the first circle finishes closing, okay? 15 seconds before the circle actually closes. We need to keep that time in mind so that we know when we can fly back in on loadout. Now, what are my options right here? Well, option number one is, of course, just to full send my loadout guns, go get them back. Option number two, which not a lot of people think about, is to land somewhere close by. Now, I don't want to land Nova 6 because TCAP just landed there and died. I could land headquarters, I could land tower, I could potentially land top prison and rotate over to my guns, knowing that there is at least one person, if not a team, around this area. So those are kind of my options right now. I'm going to go ahead and land back on my guns. I'm going to do this one time. If I get killed out of the sky right here, I'm not going to keep full sending my loadout guns. That is how you stay in the blender. I'm looking to regain. Now, right here, I am looking for one kill. One kill to regain. That's going to give me everything that I need. It's going to give me momentum. It's going to give me that confidence back. But more importantly, it's going to give me plates. It's going to give me ammo. It's going to give me information about where people are. And then I'm back in a groove again. So one kill is all I'm looking for. And you can play a little bit more patient if you want to get that kill and get your feet back under you. Now, as I push up here, I'm going to die again. I get caught. I just peeked a little bit too quick and didn't quite clear that. I end up dying to an Owen gun right here. So now what are my options? Well, I can again full send loadout where my loadout guns were and risk dying to that team. I could again land somewhere close by and rotate over. 38 seconds. Again, loadout drops 15 seconds before the first circle finishes closing. So I have about 23 seconds till loadout drops. I could float. That's a little bit longer and I risk getting sniped out of the sky, but you could do it, especially because my team's still alive. But what I'm going to end up seeing here is that as TCAP goes down, TCAP gets shot by a team. Now I'm going to go ahead and just, based on where that team that just killed me was, I'm guessing that they rotated top prison. And I'm going to go ahead and push back on my loadout guns here. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about, and going back to the statistics of this lobby, there were 10 players over 1.5 KD. There were 35 players that were kind of at or above that average mark. There were still a decent amount of bad players. So if we can wipe those sweaty teams earlier, we can still farm, probably 3 or 4, maybe even 5 teams and make a good game out of it. I'm going to go ahead and push up here. I'm going to go ahead and get that down right there. And as I mentioned earlier, getting those pings after I get a kill gives me information about where they are, right? One up in tower building, so I'm gonna go ahead and check that. And I still don't have plates. I'm not fully regained yet. I'm just trying to kind of still get my feet under me again. Now I get hostile dropping in. I'm going to go ahead and challenge this way. And I'm able to hit all my shots. There's the execution component of, you know, being able to execute and win in sweaty lobbies. Now, one thing that I do want to highlight here, and I'm going to slow this down because I want you to really understand this. I'm going to go ahead and hit shots right here. Now, keep in mind, where's this person's teammate? This person's teammate is actually up in tower building. That is why I slide past this person into cover and create that barrier between me and them. I get that question all the time, and I've talked about it in a few different videos. This was just a great example of why I slide past somebody to get that thirst. Now at this point, again, one in tower building. Right here, I'm fully regained. Satchel, stims, throwing knives, ammo, information. Like, I'm in a really good spot here. Now, I need to find a few other teams, but I'm in a really good spot. Do I have a lot of kills? No, I've got 5 kills. There's 9 other teams. As I push down here, I'm able to get this one right here, again hitting shots. And I want to talk about this regain process real quick. Loadout. So loadout's down, right? I could hit it. And if you do hit it, you want to make sure you have a tempered class. Definitely make sure you have a tempered class or a restock class if you're running stims, and take advantage of that if you have your loadout guns. I'm actually going to leave it here. The only thing I'm technically losing is quick fix and combat scout. Like, I have my guns, I have stims, I have throwing knives, and I have quote unquote technically overkill. I have both my primary and my secondary. So I'm actually going to leave it here, and that's going to help me in a second. Part of that's my pace of play because I'm just playing quick, automatically pushing, but part of it is strategy that I'll leave that up, and we at least have another circle of that being able for us to hit it. So the other thing that I said was saying before that, 6 kills, 8 other teams alive, not really on a good game yet. But like I said, we're going to finish with 19 here. We're still going to be able to put a good game together, and things happen quick. When you start to put yourself in the action, and now I got my feet back under me, I have momentum, things start to happen very quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and see one up here. Boom, there's the down. There's the team wipe. Just like that, I pick up 2 kills. We're up to 8, 6 other teams. Now I catch one down this way. And this is just a super unfortunate situation. He actually doesn't snipe me. I have a huge advantage here. He's broken, so I'm going to go ahead and challenge. And my parachute just doesn't pull. I promise you, I hit my parachute button. I swear I hit my parachute button. For whatever reason, it's a little bit buggy right now. I've seen it and heard it from a few different people that it's been tough. Now, we're going to go ahead, drop back in on loadout. And as we're dropping in on loadout here, if you are looking to get better at Rebirth, just consider hitting that subscribe button down below. I'm a 4KD player. My whole goal is just to help you get better at Rebirth. And I do videos every single day. I live stream on YouTube 4 days a week. So if you want to know when I'm posting and when I'm going live, make sure you turn on that notification bell. Now I'm immediately going to push back over here. We still got a while till second circle closes. I'm going to go ahead and assume that this team's still over here. But we're looking for 1 kill again. 1 kill. I'm playing patient. Now, because of Vanguard ARs, I have full AR ammo. Get 85 rounds for my SMG, which is, you know, plenty to take out a trio. And I just don't have a plate right now, which kind of puts me in a little bit of a tough spot. So not really sure what exactly the play is. I hear somebody sniping over this way, don't see anything, and then boom, I catch a plate. Now I'm ready to go. Like, I've got full plates, which from this distance right here isn't a huge factor because I can still challenge low plate at distance. Where it really becomes a factor is when you're in close quarters. That's where those 50-50 situations and you run into those, and plates are absolutely crucial. So I'm going to go ahead and push down here, and we're going to have a pretty clean game the rest of the way. So just to recap kind of while I'm dealing with these players, which, as I mentioned, good players in a lobby, bad players in a lobby, clearly not one of the better teams. They may be right around that average mark or right below that average mark, and I'm just going to take advantage. You know, there are sweaty teams still in this lobby. There's still 5 other teams still up, but they're not right here, and that's not my problem. And part of having success is playing aggressive and continuing to push people like we always talk about, and kind of finding those less sweaty teams and farming them and taking advantage. So we're going to go ahead and keep pushing here. Try to see what we can find. I forgot what I was actually saying right before that. I was saying something and I don't remember now. So we're going to go ahead and push up. We catch one right this way. We're going to get the down. And this rest of the game is super clean. I mean, we're going to catch a nice little group here. We're going to find a lot of players that aren't as good, that aren't the sweaty ones, and really take advantage. Now, as we push in here, this is kind of the worst combination that I think you could have, is the sweaty lobby with the rat players. So we got a team just sitting in here. I get the down, I get the thirst, and all of a sudden I get shot from another one, so I'm out. And that's kind of the worst combination that we can have. A lot of people ask me, Joe, what can I do about players camping in corners, players ratting, you know, sitting in a building altogether? The answer to that is, kind of what I always say, and I know it's something that you hear all the time, which is getting UAVs up. At the end of the day, Ghost doesn't even work anymore if you have a UAV up. So we can take advantage of understanding where those players are. Now you got to be patient. You got to be strategic about how you're approaching those. But at the end of the day, we can really take advantage of the fact that Ghost doesn't really work anymore. That's what I was saying. So while we're rotating, how to regain. So our regain options, we kind of have 4 options. The first is going to be to basically land back on a loadout that we have up. If we can get extra loadouts up, great. But notice our loadout is still up right there. So if I die right now, I can still fly back in on that loadout. Our second is going to be landing where our guns were previously. We saw that a little bit early on where I landed where my guns were, and I was able to pick those up. Now I don't have perks, but at least I'm fighting with loadout guns. We're going to go ahead and push over this way. By the way, nice little drop shot using movement to my advantage. Allows me to win that gunfight. By the way, real quick, PPSH video here. I'll put that down in the comments below. That's on my second channel. I've been doing more loadout videos on my second channel just to give you a place that you can explore different loadouts, see what works best for you. The meta's pretty close together. Not a great player. Going to go ahead and take advantage of that. You can explore what works best for you. The meta's close enough that there are a lot of viable options. So, option number 1 for regain, land on loadout. Option number 2, land on your loadout guns. Option number 3, which we're not going to see this game, is actually landing where you killed somebody. So, understanding that if you're in a groove, you're killing some people, you can land back where you killed somebody and grab their loadout guns. Now, be strategic that they might still be around you somewhere, but you can still grab their loadout guns. And then option number 4 is going to be land somewhere close to loadout, rotate over, land somewhere close to where you died, rotate over, try to find guns if you can, just some floor loot gun that you're comfortable with. Obviously, by that time, you're a little bit slim pickings on what you can actually pick up. Try to find a gun, then rotate over, then pick your loadout guns back up. Option number 5 is of course, the worst one, which is a full regain. Landing somewhere, doing a scav contract, doing a supply run, piecing together some cash, being able to throw loadout down again. So I hope you found today's video helpful. A little bit more about how to regain versus sweaty lobbies, but it's definitely going to help you in those sweaty lobbies. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.